What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Untitled Game Show. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? Usually this is the point where I'd say it's time once more for the weekly show, but we're running pretty late this week. The actual day of the show, I put out a something to do with all those Dragon Age rumors and just, kind of a rant video. I put that out as the actual episode 150 of the show, and I thought it's about time I actually sit down and knock out the rest of the articles, especially seeing that we had some pretty big Jedi stuff with the Jedi Fallen Order. There's even some Persona news, which I'm always happy to talk about. I love Persona, so we got some big stuff. If you're new to the program, basically what we do, we sit here, we read articles. Sometimes we'll watch gameplay videos. We're going to watch a trailer today. Stuff like that. Sit here, I give my takes on the news. Always happy to talk with you guys down in the comments. Hit me up over on social media if you ever have to suggest an article, a video, yada, yada, yada. Sorry if it seems like I'm rushing through this bit, but I kind of really want to hop into this first story, and I guess I'll kind of lead into the first story by saying this. It's, I kind of have to correct something from my Dragon Age video, and I made a mention of this. I believe this was the former Amy Hennig project, this Jedi Fallen Order game. Based on some of the news that we got here, like the next IGN article, I think is going to be really big for the fact that they're saying this is a single-player game, which I was expecting this game to be more of this sort of service model that EA has really been trying to push lately, stuff like Anthem. And again, what we were hearing about the new Dragon Age. I was expecting more of that, not a true single-player experience like what it looks like we're getting here. Excuse me. Stupid cat. And he's off the desk. There we go. Sorry, he was crawling around behind my monitor, confusing me. Apparently this is going to be a true single-player game, and it's making me sit here and think, I don't know, maybe all's not for lost. I feel like I got a little too doomsday in the last video on the Dragon Age one. Because at the end of the day, this is just one publisher. Granted, it's a massive publisher being EA and just one development studio. As sad as it is, that's BioWare. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's one developer, one publisher. It's not everyone. Sony's still doing tons of great single-player projects. Other studios are doing great single-player projects. I feel like I got a little too doomsday, and I feel like I got even a little too doomsday overall about the industry. There's a lot of small little things going on right now that kind of makes me scratch my head, and I don't know, maybe I'm trying to take a positive look at it. I feel like this doomsday theory is, I don't think it's right. I don't think I don't necessarily think the industry is headed for some big disaster. I think the industry is kind of in a weird flux point right now, and it will correct itself. I've said this about VR games. I've said this about a lot of stuff. I've said that I don't think anything will ever truly replace, sitting on your couch in front of your TV playing a game, with a bowl of snacks. Personally, I prefer pretzels because they don't get, grease or anything on your hands to mess with your controllers. A drink, or if you're over 21 or whatever the legal drinking age in your country is, a nice adult beverage sitting next to you. I don't think anything will truly replace that. I think that single-player gaming at the heart is gaming. I'm not saying that we're never going to see multiplayer games again, or that there's not going to be more influx of them, of stuff like Anthem, but I still don't think single-player gaming is... I think I was digging around on YouTube, it showed up in my feed. I think it was a Tim Pool video where he said, this is the end of single-player gaming, talking about the Dragon Age thing, and again, I think we're getting hyperbolic when we're going after that. And again, this is just one game and one article and everything. I don't know, but you know what? From the way some of the developers were talking about this game, and again, we'll get into more of that when we get into the IGN article, I don't know. I think people in the industry are happy to see single-player games. So either way, I've kind of either done a correction, because like I said, I referenced this game in that Dragon Age video, and from what it looks like, I'm wrong. So I will admit that I was incorrect about that, but either way, excuse me again, jeez. All right, taking a look at the first article here, we got Jedi Fallen Order release date confirmed during Star Wars Celebration panel. First up, we have Star Wars Jedi... Oh, wait, the article, I believe, was Timur Hussein. Yep, Timur Hussein of GameSpot. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order finally has platforms and release date. It is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on November 15th, 2019. Developer Respawn Entertainment has announced. I believe PC it's via EA Origin, but I believe that's what I read elsewhere. I don't think it's going to be in Steam. The date was revealed during the games panel at this year's Star Wars Celebration event, where it was also confirmed that the PC version would be exclusively available through publisher EA's Origin service. There we go. We also got a look at a trailer, although there was unfortunately no gameplay and few details to be had in general. We know that the player will take control of a young Padawan that escaped Order 66, the Empire's decree to wipe out all Jedi, even the younglings in training. You can read more about the Jedi Fallen Order story here. A day before the panel, Respawn confirmed Jedi Fallen Order has no microtransactions and is single player only. Like I said, we'll hop into a little bit more of that in the next article. Also, links to all the articles and timestamps will be in the description. Although Respawn is known primarily for developing first-person shooters such as the Titanfall series and most recently the Battle Royale hit Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen Order is more focused on melee combat. Well, that's to be expected if we're playing as a Jedi. In 2014, God of War 3 director Stig Asmussen joined Respawn, bringing some third-person action expertise to the studio. Jedi Fallen Order was originally confirmed during E3 2018 when Respawn's Vince Zampella revealed the title and teased that it would be set between Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. Prior to reveal at Star Wars Celebration, artwork for Jedi Fallen Order was released by Amazon. The retailer listed a t-shirt which featured the image of the main character wielding a blue lightsaber and his droid companion. I'm assuming in the picture was a downed vessel that looks like the Republic-era Star Destroyer. Star Wars Celebration also yielded a new trailer for the next movie in the beloved franchise. I really don't care about that. So, I mean, we already kind of got a look, kind of into that whole single-player thing, but I think this goes into it a little bit more in depth here. So we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, multiplayer microtransactions. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. I decided to turn my mic off so I could cough in peace. All right, what was I saying? Article Tom Marks, article IGN. Head of Respawn Entertainment, Vince Zampella, confirmed today that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be a single-player story game with no multiplayer and no microtransactions. He made the announcement at Star Wars Celebration in an interview with IGN's own Max Scoville, saying with no uncertainty, quote, no multiplayer, no microtransactions, it's a story game, end quote, which was met with cheers from audience. You can watch the exact moment here. And again, that's not surprising. I just saw an article before I was writing this. I think it was on PC Gamer. I retweeted it. It was talking about how the fact that no microtransactions shouldn't be a selling point nowadays. I don't know. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't care if you put microtransactions in games. I understand people's frustrations about it, and I think there's good and bad ways to do it. The way 2K does it, with the way they sell VC and how it's almost, to have a good character and any semblance of a normal amount of time played, you need to spend extra money. Like I said, I'm talking about the NBA 2K games. But at the same time, I don't necessarily have an issue with microtransactions as a whole. I've always said this. I get why companies have them. I get why they use them. They're companies. They're all about making money, and they're gonna try and make money after launch. I get that, but I think there's better ways to do it. I think the way you do it is by saying, "Here's cool stuff, please buy it." It's the Witcher approach. The fact that here's The Witcher 3. I keep going back to The Witcher 3, and I would argue it's probably one of the best games made in the last couple of years. Oh, geez, that's almost 5 years ago now. Wow, that game has aged well. Here's The Witcher 3. They made it. Great game of the year quality, phenomenal title. Then, a little later, it's like, hey, here's a $20 expansion, here's a 30-hour expansion, and they're both adding 20 and 30 hours to the game. Together they add up about, I think, 50 some hours of content. New areas to play in, new monsters, new contracts, tons of new shit. Hell, I bought the physical editions of those because I wanted the actual physical Gwent decks. I was all in. I loved it. That's how you do. Maybe somebody you want to tell me, well, that's not technically a microtransaction. That's a DLC. I throw DLC and everything into I throw everything that is a pay after your initial like $60 thing is a microtransaction. So yeah, that's just me. But I think the even if you don't want to consider that a microtransaction, I think the theory is still there. You get people to spend more money after launch by making good content that people want to buy. I went into a tangent there, but no, I think it's obvious why cheers are met from, why the audience cheered here. What's even a little surprising, this is a freaking EA game. I didn't touch into this when I was talking at the very beginning, but you know what? This is something else that's making me think, I don't know, maybe like I said, maybe everything's not as shitty as we think, because here's an EA game that is story focused. I don't know what to expect here. After Zampella's reveal, multiple other developers from EA took to Twitter to confirm what he had said and express their excitement, including Respawn producer Blair Brown and DICE's Ben Walk, I think. Survived Order 66, find out, yeah. This one's probably my favorite. So happy to be working on a single-player story-focused game. Again, no multiplayer, no MTX for #Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I agree with that. I don't know what it's like for a developer. Like, I don't know what's easier to put out. Either it's a single-player game or a multiplayer game. But, I mean, just for the people working on these titles, I think it's got to feel good to do these story games when I think everyone sees that there's a market for it. I think people want them. But it just seems like publishers like EA aren't wanting to make them nowadays. And I think some of the developers and I think some people there, again, maybe I'm reading something into here maybe I'm reading something that isn't here, but it's just a feeling I'm getting from tweets like that. Zampella also said that you will, play as a Padawan who survived the Order. Yeah, we pretty much read all that. More will be revealed. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we got into most of that. All right, let's check out the reveal trailer. Okay, let's hope this works this time. Last time I tried doing this video. There we go. It's picking up sound.
Wasn't always like this. But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out. Accept the past. Trust no one. Reach within. Don't stand out. Accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
No one. Trust only in the Force.
All right, well, there you go. There's our release date for 11/15 this year. You know what? I like the trailer. I want to see some more gameplay, though, before I make my final decision on what to expect here. Or how to put this. I'm hoping for something that's a little more beefier than just a simple action game, like the Force Unleashed games, you know, because I'm sitting here going, I feel this could so easily turn into that, but I want maybe a little exploration, maybe some RPG. I don't know, maybe that's just my own kind of proclivities towards RPGs and all that coming out, but just so much of me wants something a little bit more than just a simple action hack and slash Jedi game. I don't know about the rest of you. That might just be me, but I'm hoping for something a little more beefier than that. All right, well, that was pretty much our one massive topic for this show. I mean, we got some other, I don't want to say heftier topics, but that was pretty much, I think, the big news from last week. So moving on, we got something that really made me laugh here. Article on GameSpot: a real life battle royale event is being planned on an island by a millionaire. What could go wrong? Article by Zoe Delonte Light. Hopefully that's correct. Like I said, links are in the description. I love this. I absolutely love that this is a thing. Or that this is going to be put on. It's just, I mean, they're right. Like, what could go wrong with this? This sounds like just a clusterfuck waiting to happen, but oh my god, it looks funny as shit. This could be so fun. Most of us play games in our spare time. Some of you might even make games in your spare time. But when you've got millions to spare, there's only one thing to do: buy a private island and host your very own Battle Royale-inspired event. That's exactly what one mysterious millionaire is doing, and they need a gaming fan to help realize the vision. Paying approximately 45,000, that's euros, right? Is that euros, that pounds? I don't know. It's non-American money. Sorry, I'm an asshole. For 6 weeks of work, it sounds like we might be seeing a real version of Fortnite play out, though with less death and guns, and by less death and guns, I mean none whatsoever. Regardless of what the tasks actually involve, there's a 100,000. Again, I'm going with euros, but I don't think that's correct. That might be pounds. Either way, prize for the winner. Now that's a victory royale worth carrying for. Instead, competitors are going to have airsoft guns, ammo, and, quote, touch-sensitive body armor, end quote, for the event, which will take place over 3 days, so competitors will be camping overnight. Okay, so they won't have to forage for food. I would have them forage for food, personally. But even so, the event basically sounds like a slightly tamer version of the Hunger Games. Kicking off this winter, about 100 members of the public can register for the chance to compete. Presumably, you'll need to be a paintballing pro to even stand a chance. But if this becomes a success, there's a possibility that real-life Battle Royale could become an annual thing. The anonymous millionaire is being helped out by the, quote, Amazon for millionaires, end quote, marketplace hush hush. And if you... I'm sorry. I can't get through a sentence in this without laughing my ass off. This is funny as hell. I know there are going to be people who are going to say, oh, this is wrong, and there's a problem with this, or that somebody's going to get extremely hurt. But look, the fact that this is airsoft guns and all this stuff, I think that, if done right, this could be funny as shit, and oh my god, this would be so fun. Like, this is something, like, I would actually do. Like, I would sign up for something like this. Like, maybe, I'm not paintballing pro, but, I'd sign up to go camp and play a game like this. Oh, hell yeah, it sounds ridiculously fun. Where was I? I'm sorry, I got distracted. You would have to... the anonymous movement, and... Okay, if you quite like the idea of earning 45,000 for less than 2 months' work, the deadline for registration to help plan the event is April 22nd. You would have to travel to the location itself to have a look over the landscape, but I think most of us could stomach a trip to a private island if we absolutely have to. Heavy sarcasm. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. Honestly, if this is feasible and was, like, real, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying, like, hey, let's go out there with AKs and, like, really shoot each other and really kill each other. No, I'm not asking for a real-life version of The Condemned. I'm saying, look, airsoft rifles or paintballs or some shit like that. I'm surprised nobody's, just kind of like, I'm trying to think, I've been to, I'm from, the Midwest, balls, and not completely died around here. I mean, I know a bunch of places around here that, do paintball out in the woods and shit. I'm surprised nobody's just gotten like a big chunk of land and said, all right, get so many people together, said, all right, you can camp and all that, you're gonna just have this one big paintball shootout, for so many days. I'm surprised this already isn't a thing, is what I'm trying to get at. I know, in really weird ways of saying it, but I'm surprised this already isn't a thing. I mean, I think it's funny that, okay, there's prize money up for grabs and we're taking you to a private island and all this shit. But I'm like I said, I would actually go if like one of the paintball locations around me were saying, hey, we're doing this, either get like a 4-man squad or come alone, whatever, you're going to camp and all this stuff for so many nights just to play this game. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm totally in. That sounds like a ridiculous amount of fun. Yeah, that's really all there is with that. I think that was really goofy, but also really fun. Moving on to the next story, we got an article by Tom Phillips of Eurogamer. It finally happened, guys. After so long waiting for this, we can finally change PlayStation IDs. But apparently there are issues, according to Sony. So let's take a look at this. PlayStation owners can finally change their PSN Online IDs, allowing you to at last get rid of that awful name you gave yourself when you first signed up years ago. It's taken a while, years, for PlayStation to enable the feature, far longer than on other platforms. But finally, the wait is over. Well, almost. PlayStation's US blog states that the feature is live today here in Europe. The equivalent EU blog states that the feature will be live tomorrow, 11th of April. So this has already been up for, a few days. But the process may include some bumps on the way, and PlayStation has warned some older games may not be compatible with with your change of name. A, quote, large majority, end quote, of the most played PS4 games with PlayStation tested will work fine, Sony has said, but games originally published before 1st April 2018 were not developed to be compatible. PlayStation has therefore compiled a long list of games it has tested, which may have potential problems. Some are listed as having, quote, issues. Your old name may show. PSN accounts may be unlinked from in-game accounts. Game settings may be reset. Some are listed as having, quote, critical issues. You may lose in-game currency, progress, and / or user-generated content. 40 or so games tested in the fall. In the category of having issues, games like Killzone Shadowfall, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, The Last of Us, Titanfall 2, Warframe, PlayStation VR Worlds. Just 10 games fall into the category of having serious issues. Everybody's Golf, Little Big Planet 3, Disc Jam, Just Dance 2017, Onrush, Worms Battleground, The Golf Club 2, really who cares about that, and MLB The Show 14, 15, 16. If you choose to change your PSN ID, you can do so either via a PC or directly from your PS4. On PlayStation 4, you'll need to head to Settings, Account Manager. It's the general flow chart there. On PC, you simply sign in via the PlayStation website and edit and hit the edit button next to your PSN profile in the menu. You can't change your ID via PS3 or Vita. Sadly, I love my Vita. You also can't change your name if you have a child account. Your first name change will be free. After that, you'll pay $8. Okay, yeah, I'm assuming this is pounds, right? Because that's euro. I'm guessing that's £8, 10 euros for each change, with a 50% discount for PlayStation Plus members. Okay, that's kind of dumb. Reverting back to the previous name is free. These will remain reserved only for you, and you can display your previous name next to your new account, or next to your new one for 30 days so friends see you have changed. Will you make the change? I won't. I like my PSN ID. I got no problem with it. I get that a lot of people have been wanting this for a long time, and I think the main reason we've been hearing that why it's going to be so difficult to do it, it's just how trophies work, and people are afraid they're going to lose trophies, this, that, the other thing. I don't know. I feel like this has always been... I don't understand from a technical perspective why this is so difficult, but I think actually having to pay for it after your first name change is really weird. And then for the fact that, I mean, what? That's, like I said, 10 euros, £8 or whatever. Yeah, that seems a little steep just to change your PSN ID. That's weird to me. But either way, it's finally happened. That was really just a quick hitter. I kind of wanted to go over it just in case anybody was interested, didn't hear the news, wanted to do it, yada yada. So, moving on to something that some of us here on the channel have been talking about for a long time, wanting a new Splinter Cell game. I mean, it's been being teased and prodded. You know, I mean, we've seen the Sam Fisher's goggles pop up in Well, I think his goggles popped up in AC Odyssey. We actually can get his Sam Fisher suit from, oh my god, Splinter Cell Blacklist in Far Cry New Dawn. Sam Fisher even made an appearance in Ghost Recon Wildlands. They have been teasing a new Splinter Cell game for the longest time. But here we go. Apparently the franchise is not dead, according to the boss over at Ubisoft. So let's hop into the article. This is on PC Gamer by Ian Badrew. Hopefully that's correct. Clancy Heads got a big dose of nostalgia last year when Ghost Recon Wildlands introduced Special Operation 1, a free add-on mission that lets you hang out with Splinter Cell badass Sam Fisher. In a new interview, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot confirms that the company has plans for the Splinter Cell series, although it's not clear what shape those plans might take. Guillemot spoke with IGN's Unfiltered podcast, and the discussion ranges broadly from the first games that Guillemot brothers played and why they founded the company to what's going on with Beyond Good and Evil 2. But buried in the discussion is a god damn it. I hate, for some reason, PC Gamer is always hard for me to read. I don't know why. Buried in the discussion is a diversion on Splinter Cell and how that game changed Ubisoft. It was a gamble, he says, since the company initially launched the game on the original Xbox and skipped the PlayStation 2. Quote, coming on that machine and not PlayStation at the time was a bit risky, but we wanted to use the capacity of the machine, end quote. IGN's host Ryan McCaffrey pressed Guillemot on Splinter Cell, quote, why has it been dormant for so long, end quote. Guillemot answered the question very carefully. Quote, when you create a game, you have to make sure you come with something different enough from what you did before, end quote, he says. Guillemot goes on to say that the last Splinter Cell game, Blacklist, arrived amid a very vocal fan base reaction saying, quote, don't change this, don't do that. That made Ubisoft teams anxious about working on a new follow-up for the series. I can understand that, and I mean, I think a lot of people were worried, especially with when you look at like Double Agent compared to Conviction. Extremely different games. Conviction was way more linear. It was I'm not saying that Double Agent wasn't a linear game, and also it's a very different game depending if you play it on the PS2 or the 360. I played it on PS2 originally, and the 360 one is way better. But there's more open-ended environments and more exploration to be had in Double Agent than there was in I believe it was Conviction. I believe that was the one after that. And then Blacklist, I think, kind of got back to the more stealth or not that Conviction didn't have stealth. It got more into, it was more of a traditional Splinter Cell game, but I can understand why they're kind of sitting there, kind of, holding back, afraid of the fans. I was talking with Brian Gade in the comments of one video, and I can't remember which video it was, but I said the statement of, oh right, it was when we were talking about the new AC game probably being Vikings themed, and I'm sitting here saying, look, I still want Assassin's Creed Rising Sun. I want a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game where I play as a ninja. I have been wanting this for so long, and just make it already. But he brings up the good point that so many people have been wanting this game for so long that they're probably afraid to screw it up. And I think I can understand that, but still at some point you gotta take the leap. Kind of like this. I think now people are getting at the point where, come on, release a new Splinter Cell game. Like, let's go already. I think people are more anxious now, the fact that we haven't seen anything, rather than the fact of what is it going to be like. The article continues, quote, now there are some people looking at the brand, taking care of the brand, Guillemot says, so at some point you will see something. I can't say more than that, end quote. That's what we in the business call the, quote, money quote, end quote. It's indirect but clear confirmation that something is being worked on. Ubisoft obviously isn't ready to talk about whatever it is yet, so we might be waiting a few years. But that's not all the news we have here. We got another article here on Game Informer. Ubisoft CEO believes that there would be too much pressure on a new Splinter Cell game, Imran Khan. So again, just kind of another short article, still on the same thing. So Ubisoft is no stranger to keeping franchises alive as long as they make sense. While it would be nice to get a new Prince of Persia or something like that, games like Rayman Origins and Beyond Good and Evil 2 show that nothing is ever completely off the table at Ubisoft. Still, with as much smoke as there has been about a new Splinter Cell game returning by both Ubisoft and by potential leaks, it is weird that Sam Fisher is still out in the dark. One problem, apparently, is that Ubisoft isn't quite sure what to do with the new Splinter Cell game. In an interview with IGN, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot confesses that fans have a lot of expectations for what the game can and should be, and Ubisoft's developers have some anxiety about meeting those expectations. It's been a while since players last took control of Sam Fisher, and the game industry has changed quite a bit in that time. Quote, when you create a game, you have to make sure you will come with something that will be different enough from what you did before, end quote. You know, we already read that last time we did a Splinter Cell game. Yeah, we already read that in the last article. Guillemot did say that there are people looking into taking care of that. He also pointed out that other brands like Assassin's Creed are much more successful, so developers want to work on those instead. I get that. This makes it harder to actually develop the game when resources aren't there. Still, it looks like Splinter Cell is on Ubisoft's. Okay. So a lot of the same stuff from a different angle. But still, what... I get what he's talking about. I think that, you know, more developers want to work on Assassin's Creed. I get that, but... and I get why people would be afraid to take on a new Splinter Cell game. It's just... I think, again, it's like I said earlier. I'm not gonna sit here and kind of pound this point into the dust. I think it's just, at some point... you have to take the leap, and you have to make, you know what I mean? You have to make the new game or admit that there's nothing. You can't keep teasing us like you have been, but say, oh, we're afraid, and hands off. They're saying, oh, well, they're hinting at something. Great, we've had stuff been hinted at for 2 years now. Come out, put your cards on the table. Show us what you got. That's my statement here. It's just... stop teasing. You got to start showing, or else I think people are going to start getting pissed off here. So moving on, kind of in the same vein. Not necessarily a Ubisoft kind of thing to talk about, but apparently the Assassin's Creed creator says Amsterdam 1666 is still happening. Article by Cyril Vasquez of Game Informer. That's Patrice. I always get his name wrong. I believe it's Patrice Desilets. He's currently working on Ancestors and all this, but I've heard about this game. It sounds really cool, so let's hop into this. This article is probably going to be another short one. Although Assassin's Creed creator Patrice Desilets and his studio Panache are currently working on Ancestors, you can find our impressions of the recent build of the game here. The studio originally wanted to work on Amsterdam 1666, a game set in the location and year that was something of a mix between Assassin's Creed, historical intrigue, and Ancestors' animal manipulating hook. While that project has since been officially canceled, Desilets hasn't given up on it completely. See, I'm surprised that nobody would kind of back him on this project. You know, that nobody would want to... I mean, sure, it's kind of weird. I mean, honestly, I don't know my European history that well. You know, Amsterdam in 1666, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about that time period and that location. But here's a guy that came up with one of the best alternate history sort of games. You know, I mean, this is the original creator of Assassin's Creed. This guy... almost, I don't know what the hell to say about him in Assassin's Creed. I mean, he created probably one of the most known franchises to date. I mean, I think just about everyone in this industry knows Assassin's Creed. I think more casuals, even people outside the industry, know Assassin's Creed. It's had a movie. It's had so many games, spin-offs, phone games. There's so many ways that Assassin's Creed has spread. I mean, it's comic books even. You know, regular books, just so much shit here. I don't get why nobody would want to give this guy some room to run with another kind of like alternate history sort of game. I just with what he did with Assassin's Creed, I don't get why people wouldn't want to give him that. You know what? It worked out in the past. This guy again made probably one of the most massively known pop culture phenomena. Let him take another shot at it. Speaking with VG 24/7, Desolé said Amsterdam 1666 is still happening. Quote, for sure, Amsterdam 1666 is gonna happen, end quote. He told them. He also mentioned that Ancestors, which also has players controlling different animals, could work as a proof of concept of sorts to further refine many of the concepts shown in an off-screen gameplay video of Amsterdam 1666 shown a few years ago. The game was the subject of a protracted legal battle between Desolé and Ubisoft after the two parties had a dispute over the project's development, and Ubisoft decided to cancel development and terminate Desolé. Panache is still working on Ancestors, of course, which means we likely won't see Amsterdam 1666 anytime soon, and whenever Desolé and Panache decided to return to it, it'll likely be somewhat different. Quote, it'll probably change a little bit, Desolé told VG 24/7. You were more like the Devil's Apprentice and then the actual devil once I finish this, and then, okay, what's next? If it's Amsterdam 1666, I'll probably restart from scratch, end quote. I remember that legal battle they were having, because I think it's when Desolé was, kind of, he pitched the idea, Ubisoft didn't want it. I think Desolé was then going to other developers trying to pitch the idea. This is from what I'm trying to remember. I remember talking about this a long time ago. But I believe Desolé tried to go to other developers to pitch this game after Ubisoft said, "Nah, we don't want it." Then when he was doing that, they were getting mad at him. I think they were trying to say, you developed it while you were with us, so it's technically our property, and it was a fight over the term Amsterdam 1666. But like I said earlier, I definitely like these kind of like alternate history sort of games. I honestly, I loved the original Assassin's Creed back in 2007. I mean, still go back and play it. I mean, it's extremely clunky and all that, but for the time, I mean, the game was phenomenal. So I got to give the guy points for that. And honestly, I really do hope that someday we'll see this game in some version. All right, moving on. Another short little article here. DONTNOD Folks Home Interactive announced a new partnership. Honestly, I don't know why. Article Imran Khan. Well, I understand why. I mean, it goes into it, but still, I'll get into it in a second. DONTNOD, the developers of games like Life is Strange 1 and 2 and Remember Me, has announced an upcoming partnership with Folks Home Interactive for a new game. I always forget about Remember Me. Maybe it's because I thought the game was not that great. Focus published Vampire with DONTNOD last year, so they're partnering with the freelance studio once again. While neither Focus nor DONTNOD has said exactly what their next project together will be, whether it is a new IP or a sequel to Vampire, the two praised the sales of Vampire in the same breath as mentioning the new partnership. The Vampire-based narrative game quietly sold over 1 million copies, which is seemingly above their expectations for the title. As Focus is holding their annual event in Paris this week, it is possible we will know something about their next project with DONTNOD soon. In the meantime, DONTNOD is working on Life is Strange 2 and recently put out a schedule of their remaining episodes. The French developer has explained that their reasoning for the long development times between episodes is that the game is a lot more complex than previous titles. Yeah, I get that. I still haven't finished episode 2 of Life is Strange 2. I need to get back to that. No, my thoughts on Vampire. I liked it. I think I saw what they were trying to do in a lot of ways, but I feel like, how did I describe Vampire? I think I said it was a game with big budget ideas that was run on a budget. It felt like they were trying to do so much with it, and a lot of it fell short. And as I usually say, sometimes you don't get points for trying. You get credit for trying. I'll say, hey, look, I see what you did. I see what you're going for here and there. But at the end of the day, you need to accomplish. You need to execute. And I don't think DONTNOD did that with Vampire. So that's just me. I think. I mean, I'm not saying it's weird that they're announcing a partnership or a new game. It's just, I don't know. I feel like this is. This one, it sells well. I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I'm like, okay, it sells well, so it makes perfect sense. So they're probably not a contentious partnership. But on the other hand, I feel like you need to do something that's going to be critically acclaimed. I mean, Vampire was kind of middling. Everybody's like, nah, it was all right. So that's what I'm saying. I think this time around, they got to put out something. They got to put up or shut up. I mean, again, 1 million copies, that's great, but I think at the end of the day, a lot of people were kind of underwhelmed with the game. So, all right, moving on. Next to last article, we got Steampunk World War I RTS Iron Harvest has been picked up by Deep Silver. Article Samuel Roberts of PC Gamer. Iron Harvest developer King Art Games announced that the game now has a publisher, Deep Silver. In a post on its website announcing the news, the developer explains that it's fielded over a dozen offers from publishers, speaking to a few of them, but found the publisher behind crowdfunded games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, Shenmue 3, and Pathfinder Kingmaker to be the perfect fit. Quote, we agreed with Deep Silver that King Art will retain total creative control. The developer explained Deep Silver has also committed themselves to help with things like production, first-party relations, e.g., so we can concentrate to fulfill all of our promises towards you. With their support, more content, potentially more platforms, and even a level editor are on the horizon. You can read our full progress. Read about the progress the developer is making towards the level editor in the full post here. Iron Harvest was successfully crowdfunded in early 2018, raising $1.2 million over 16,000 backers. Check out this rad alpha gameplay trailer from last year. I've seen Iron Harvest, just little bits and bobs of it. Looks really cool. I think it's set in Russia. I could be wrong on that. But, it got kind of like big, like, steam-powered mechs. I think one character is like a bear or something that you can send at people. It's a neat little game that I heavily suggest checking out. Like I said, this article was really not much commentary I can give to this. I just kind of wanted to say, hey, check out Iron Harvest. It's got a publisher. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this game. Little bits and pieces that I've seen look really cool. I'm usually not an RTS guy, but this one's definitely caught my attention. So definitely go check it out. All right, guys, let's take a look at our final article here. We have Persona 5R coming to PS4 with new character. Article Timur Hussein of GameSpot. We'll be taking a look at this trailer. I mean, it's quick, like 45 seconds, but let's see here. Following Persona 5, the animation Stars and R's episode, Atlas revealed a new trailer and more details for Persona 5R. You can watch the trailer above. It confirms the new game's full title is Persona 5: The Royal. While for the details on what the game is, while further details on what the game is weren't provided, Atlas has teased that it plans to reveal more about Persona 5: The Royal on April 24th during the live concert event Persona Super Live 2019. Based on Persona releases and the trailer, we suspect Persona 5: The Royal will be a kind of Game of the Year edition that features some extra content that to make it worth replaying. I have no doubt. I mean, again, the article later references stuff like Persona 4 Golden, Persona 3 FES. I mean, really, something to remember. I mean, Persona 3. Golden didn't necessarily add additional hours to the game. I think it added a social link. It added some personas. It brought the game over to the handheld on the Vita. So, I mean, it did add some stuff, but it wasn't like what Persona 3 FES was to Persona 3, because what Persona 3 FES did, it not only added a social link, it added I think the normal game, I think Persona 3 clocks in around 80 hours. I think that's the official time limit, or the time for the game. It's about an 80-hour game. What FES adds is an additional, like, epilogue story. That's another 30 hours, where I think, you control the robot girl. I think her name's Aegis? I think that's what it was. It's been a while since I played 3. I have to break out my PS2 for that. But no, I wouldn't surprise me. I mean, as soon as I heard, like, Persona 5R, I assumed that's what it was going to be. It was going to be kind of like a GOTY version of Persona 5. And honestly, I look forward to it. I love Persona. I loved Persona 5. I mean, it was my game of the year it came out. In all honesty, I thought the game was great, and I really look forward to it. But let's check out the trailer here. Yeah, it's in Japanese, by the way. Not much we can do about that. Alright, I love the art style, man. I've loved Persona 5's art style. Okay, first year Shujin student.
最終的に本人じゃなきゃいけない気がするんです。
right, so that was the trailer there. I mean, again, we'll probably see a lot of stuff here in the trailer, but I mean, we already saw she's wearing the uniform for everyone, so she's a Shujin student, with like the other characters. Oops, give me a second. Pause that. So she's a Shujin student, just like everyone else. She's a first year, at least that's what that pin with the 1 on it. I assume she's a first year student. She's a new character. I have 2 theories on this. One, she's the new protagonist, or let me rephrase. They're going to do with Persona 5 like they did with Persona 3 FES, where they gave you... No, wait, or was that on FES? Or was that the Persona 3? No, Persona 3 that got put on the PSP gave you the decision. Not FES still had you play as the male character. Persona 3 on the PSP gave you the option to play as a female protagonist. So I have one of 2 guesses. Either it's a new character... it's a new playable character. She's replacing... People call him Potter. People call him a lot of different things. But replaces the main character. That's one option. That she's, the replacement. Although I'm not sure if they'd still go with if she'd have like a new backstory or something a little different from the main character. But either way. Their other theory is that she's a new companion. That we're going to bring in a new Persona user to the team, a new palace, new everything like that. But like I said, we'll probably get a skim through this article, so they kind of cover some more of the stuff. So, let's see here. The trailer for Persona 5 The Royale is focused on a new female character who's a student at Shujin, this school where most of the main cast are enrolled. At the start of the trailer, she's asked... what she thinks about the Phantom Thieves, the vigilante group the players controls in the game. She indicates that she doesn't entirely approve of them, setting up a tension between the 2 parties. Okay, so you know what? This actually is now making me lean more towards she's a new character. Like, she's going to be a new member of the team. I mean, the whole she doesn't approve of them. I mean, maybe she's a new villain. Maybe that's entirely possible. But... I'm leaning towards a new member of the team now, after I read that paragraph more closely, as opposed to a new main character, because they're asking her about the Phantom Thieves, meaning she is not already a member, or she's not like the founding leader character. So that would lead me to believe she's not the player character, at least how I interpret that sentence, or that paragraph. Let's see here. It is likely this mysterious female character will be the focus of the new content. Atlus likes to throw in something new for its re-releases, and as previously seen in Persona 3 FES and Persona 4 Golden, it's usually quite substantial. We've got our fingers crossed for a new palace, and as well as the character and accompanying storyline. In GameSpot's Persona 5 review, Lucy James awarded it a 9 out of 10. I'd give it a perfect 10, but that's just because I think I said this about Persona 5. I think that game delivered on what every Persona fan wanted. I think it delivered great characters, maybe minus Yusuke. Not a big fan of him. Or wait, is it Yusuke? The artist guy. I'm never... For some reason, it's always like the second or third character that we add. I'm never a big fan of. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of him. But either way, I mean, I think the game had good characters. I mean, its visual aesthetic was gorgeous. I mean, they really loved to play on that whole prisoner theme. I think it worked. The stuff in the Velvet Room was great. Just the art style itself, the menus, everything about that game was just top freaking tier, man. I loved it. Within Persona 5 is a complex set of interconnected gameplay mechanics, and in almost every aspect, Atlus has executed on its vision exceptionally, barring the pacing issues towards the end. Okay, end quote, she said. Alright, see, that, I will give you, that is probably the one big thing with Persona, is when you're going to dive into a Persona game, you know you are giving up a chunk of your life, because those games are long, there's a lot of, I don't want to say unimportant stuff, kind of sprinkled throughout, but there's like little character moments, there's this, that, the other thing that you're just, at times you're sitting here going, okay, come on, get going. But all in all, I'd still give it a 10 out of 10, and I am willing to admit some of that is my bias on how much of a fan I am of Persona. So she continues, at every turn it presents something to marvel at, whether it's the fluid combat, vibrant world, or the many memorable characters. It's a game I could talk about for hours. I haven't mentioned the ability to connect to the Thieves Guild, which lets you see how other players spent their day, or ask them for help answering questions at school, or the thumping acid jazz infused soundtrack. The music is great. that I've not been able to get out of my head, or even just the joys of seeing how it stylishly transitions between menus, but that encapsulates why Persona 5 is a game that shouldn't be missed. It's stuffed to the bursting point with gameplay ideas and presentation flourishes. There's an overwhelming level of artistry in every part of Persona 5, making it a truly standout entry in the series. It's a refined, effortlessly stylish RPG that will be talked about for years to come, end quote. No, I love the way she puts that. I really wish I could write like this, with this kind of like flourish. It's just I'm more of a straightforward kind of guy when I write. I'm just like, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't, here's why. I'm very, very straightforward. It's my personality. But no, I think she hits Persona 5 on the head with that writing, and again, I think I can see the score for a 9. I still give it a 10. Either way, that's not the important thing here. I'm sorry, I got sucked into now talking about Persona 5. As far as Persona 5 R, no, I have no doubt that this is going to be the new upcoming what's the term? This is the new the re-release, this is the new character and everything. I look forward to it. Tell me what you guys think about Persona 5 R, or even Persona in general. Like, do you guys like it? Are you as like super fans as I am, or anything like that? So, all right. Well, guys, I think that's about all the news we got for this week. I'm going to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, that stuff is down in the description below. As I said earlier, links to all the articles are in the description, along with timestamps. Come back next week, check out any of the variety of Let's Plays we got going on here on the channel. I think that's about all, so until next time, my name's AJ Gels, this is the Gaming Channel. Like I said, social media's in the description. Like, comment, you're not already, please subscribe to the channel, and until then, I'm out.